Hi, I'm Neisseria gonorrhoeae. I'm a gram-negative Diplococcus obligate anaerobe bacteria. You've probably heard of me from your sex ed class, friends, or maybe even your partner. I'm an obligate human pathogen, which means I love people. I come from a big family, but only one of my siblings shares the same love for people that I do. Her name is Neisseria meningitis. She's the leading cause of bacterial meningitis. She's a little bit less serious about her love for people than I am, but she does seem to cause a bit more harm to her host than I do too. Also, people seem to find out about her faster than they do me. My other siblings in my genus are similar to me, but have other passions. We all like being in wet environments that are about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. We all enjoy being on animals' mucosal surfaces, and we are built to thrive in those environments. Before we get into my wants and loves, let's talk about my needs. I'm an obligate aerobe, which means I need access to oxygen to survive and thrive. For nutrition, I'm a little needy. In a lab, I need a special agar to grow. I do best on blood agar and chocolate agar. Yum. In the most basic terms, I need glucose, glutamine, thiamine, phosphate, iron, and carbon dioxide in order to thrive and grow. Now for my favorite topic, people. They've been obsessed with me for as long as I have been obsessed with them. A bunch of famous people have even talked about me, including Hippocrates, who I think is a pretty big deal. I'm even mentioned in the most printed book in history, the Bible. Each year worldwide, more than 80 million people find out that I am with them, and The WHO even recently named me a superbug due to my obsession with humans and adaptability to their treatments. I usually find a new person to be with through the sexual contact of two people. You could say I love love. Once I find a new host, I bind to their epithelium in their throat, vagina, or rectum. When I first get there, I try to hide my best from the host body. Even though I love them, the immune system of my hosts don't really love me back. Depending on which zone I end up in, I use different techniques to hide from the body. In the cervix, for example, I bind to factor H, which the host body identifies as itself so it doesn't attack me. Once I get into a host, I use a few different proteins in my outer membrane called TDTSs that work to hoard some nutrients away from other organisms in the area, to both suppress the other organisms and pathogens and keep some resources for myself in case I need it later. Since I'm exclusive to humans, I had to learn how to adapt to avoid their rude medical advances and efforts to get rid of me. I use biofilms and horizontal gene transfer using my pili to share information with my peers and learn from their previous experiences with these things called antibiotics. Luckily, every time someone survives one of those series, we can share insider knowledge and become stronger and build resistance to these horrible medications. Despite my efforts, scientists are still trying to figure out how to get rid of me. Once I make my new home in my human host, I'm contagious about a week after my first contact with them. Despite that, my host will still test negative for about a week after I'm contagious. That's still not long enough for me, but luckily it takes a lot longer for most people to find out that I'm even there. In female hosts, I typically fly under the radar. I usually do not cause noticeable symptoms in female hosts for a long time. Most find out about me through random routine screening at a doctor's office. I do cause some symptoms in male hosts, but it's usually just some discharge. Even though I love them so much, I can see why they don't like me. If I go undetected for long enough, I can cause some harm to my hosts. 1 in 5 females who do not receive treatment for me will get pelvic inflammatory disease, which is which can cause scarring and have long-term fertility effects and requires a long course of medication to cure. Additionally, if I'm in a pregnant person, I can cause harm to the baby. I cause neonatal blindness and scarring and ulcers on the cornea of the infant. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn all about me.